unusual delays eastbound from Oaks to Route 202, about a 20-minute trip there. That's a look at traffic. John, back to you.
All right, thank you, Sally. And a sad reminder on just how dangerous it is for our troops in Afghanistan. We just got word this morning within the past few minutes that 6 police officers have been killed and 4 injured when their vehicle hit a roadside bomb.
Now let's talk about the death toll for a moment there. For the month now, it sits at 33. More than 100 soldiers died in June, which is the highest monthly death toll there for the 9-year war. So let's bring in U.S. Senator Ted Kaufman. You just returned from Iraq with Vice President Joe Biden. You've certainly been to Afghanistan. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
So our first question right off the bat, what is going on there? Are the insurgents just energized? Obviously, we have more troops there now, so we're really in the thick of fighting. What's the deal?
Well, no, we're taking them on. I mean, as long as we didn't have any troops over there, as long as we weren't engaged, then everything was fine. But once you go into the areas they're in, and that's where we're going to Kandahar and Helmand, the provinces where they're really the strongest, and we're doing it. Plus, it's a time of year. This is the time of year when things go on, the weather's warm, people can move around. But the big thing is, we said right from the beginning, it was in the President's plan, it was in what General Petraeus said, that there was going to be additional casualties once you start gathering and going in there and moving them out.
It's a whole different kind of fighting now.
Absolutely.
Because now you're going in, going into buildings where they could be hiding.
That's right. And what you do, the basic thing on this counterinsurgency, which has worked so well in Iraq. Now, Afghanistan is different than Iraq, but it's the same basic strategy, which is you go into an area, you clear the area out of the Taliban, then you hold the area, and then you build. And that's the piece where you got to go in and do economic development, things like that. Because the basic thing is you've got to get the people in Afghanistan to decide they'd rather have their government than have the Taliban.
No.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Afghanistan's the one that's stealing the headlines now. It doesn't seem like there's as much in Iraq, and you said it's because we're getting closer.
Exactly. No, I think that's good. I mean, we went to Iraq. We were one of the few congressional delegations went to Iraq. By the way, I went with Bob Casey, your senator. What a great guy! What a wonderful guy. Anyway, so we went into Iraq, and things are quiet there. I mean, as they say, democracy's breaking out. I actually sat in a room with, at one point with Maliki, who's the prime minister, and Halawi, who's the one that got the most votes, and Talabani, who's up for president, he's the Kurd. And they're talking like in the Senate. I mean, they're talking about how can we get another vote? How can I get enough votes so I can get elected? And the thing in terms of incidents, the incidence rate went right down like this. And when I was over there like 6 months ago, when we started this, remember we went to 50,000 troops, and we moved the troops out of the cities, we said, you know what's going to happen is the incidents are going to go down, the deaths and the thing. Then it's going to go up when the Iraqis take over, and then hopefully they'll go back down again. In fact, we had trained up the Iraqis so well, the numbers just went straight down.
Keep going down.
So if you look at the numbers, you can't even tell when we moved out and when the Iraqis moved in. And this is really important for Afghanistan because we can demonstrate from beginning to end we've been able to take over, get into a country, put in a counterinsurgency strategy and make it work. That has big messages.
And hopefully eventually the government can stand on its own. We have to move to another topic. Let's talk about the presidential approval ratings. Sure. Everybody's buzzing about it. Yeah. The latest Rasmussen reports, they do a daily presidential tracking poll. The latest one, I think it showed 27% of the nation's voters strongly approve of the way that President Obama is performing his role as president. 44% strongly disapprove. Everybody's buzzing about how the numbers are going down.
Snell, let me tell you, this is really simple, and I'd say this was a Democratic president, Republican president. It almost totally correlates with how people think the economy's going. You could be doing the greatest job in the world. People don't feel good about the economy. There's one thing you ask, is the country going in the right direction or the wrong track? And if they think the country's going the wrong track, I don't care your president, your mayor, your governor, your senator, it's all down. So what we have to do, and the president knows this, and it's the right thing to do, we've got to get the economy moving again. I'm absolutely convinced when the economy moves back up again, President Obama...
But can that realistically happen by the midterm elections, or Jim's going to hurt?
It doesn't have to happen by the midterm elections. Something has to happen by the midterm elections. But it really comes back to the economy. I mean, if we're in a, right now, up until now, the economy's really looking good. If we go into a double dip, then it's going to be bad for us. But that's the way it is. I mean, that's when you get into politics, you understand. The economy is how people feel about themselves and their jobs is what drives the economy. It doesn't matter who caused it. It really is just a matter, I don't have a job. Right. My house is mortgaged. My son or daughter can't find a job. I'm unhappy. And when I'm unhappy, there's not really a whole lot to make happy. I mean, I would argue that this president, let me tell you, we passed more good legislation, more legislation than any Congress since FDR. And there's a lot of really good things in there. But if people are not happy about
they want to know where jobs are.
That's exactly. And here's the secret. The other thing is we did a little bit of selling job. We put the recovery package in. We kept talking about jobs tied to actual things. What we really should have said is there's a $2 trillion hole in the economy. We're going to put $900 billion in. The economy's going to get better, and then jobs will follow behind. The economy's gotten better. If you look at the Dow Jones, it was like this. If you look at gross domestic product, it all bottomed out almost to the week that we passed the Recovery Act and went back. That's the good news. Bad news is we know from the last 8 recoveries that essentially the jobs don't come back till 3, 4, 6, 8 months after the economy. So we're going to do fine. I mean, the jobs are going to come back, but they may not come back in November.
Well, I also want to get your thoughts. This Tea Party rally is going to be here.
Right.
Charges of racism. What do you make of all this?
Well, I just think there's some people in the organization that are clearly, I mean, all you got to do is look at it on TV. You watch it.
Yeah.
There's signs up there that are racist. So clearly there are racists in the Tea Party movement. I think it's a big mistake to say the Tea Party movement is a racist organization. The Tea Party movement speaks for a percentage of the people who are really, really, really upset. But of course, there's a group of people in America who are always upset with the government. Again, what happens is when you have a bad economy, especially like the second worst downturn in our history. When that happens, then there's another, maybe you got 10% that are Tea Party people, there's another 10 or 15% that say, hey, I know, this is terrible. I mean, look at how people are hurting out there. There's no reason people are turning to all kinds of extreme situations. You don't have a job, and we're not extending unemployment compensation?
Yeah.
Cut me a break. We're not extending unemployment compensation. We got people now, we're going to have 3 million people at the end of this month their unemployment compensation run out. And people are saying, we've got to be fiscally responsible here. We can't pay for it. This is the same guys, many of them, who voted for the Iraq war without paying for it, the Afghan war without paying for it, Medicare prescription drugs without paying for it, and the biggest of all, pay for the tax cuts without paying for it. This was trillions of dollars. Now we have a bill that is historic in this country. We've always done. We put it forward to pay for unemployment compensation. They're coming down the floor and saying, oh, we can't pay for this. We don't know how to pay for it. I mean, this is an emergency. People are really, really, really hurting. And when you read the stories about folks, people have been at work for a year, 2 years, they got kids.
Oh, we've interviewed, we've talked to them right here on Good Day.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't get it. I think we got to get the unemployment compensation. I think we will now. But it's just really, really important for people that we get it going. Because these people, again, the thing about these people are, most of these people are not people who didn't do it the right way.
Right. Oh,
these guys
absolutely.
play by the
Or they don't
rules.
want to work.
They
Absolutely.
did it all. It isn't their fault that the economy's down. That's the part that really, tears at you. The whole thing about people. When you read these stories and you meet people that it's happened to, just about everybody now has a family member who's out of work. And so, we got to get the unemployment compensation back in payment and get the payment in for those 3 million people.
Well, I hear people at home nodding their head and saying yes and saying they agree with you because there are a lot of people out of work.
This is great. We got to get this done.
All right. U.S. Senator Ted Kaufman, as always, we appreciate when you come in.
Hey,
we could talk to you all day.
Hey, good to see you, John.
Thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
All right, what time is it? 7:39. After a dramatic win on Saturday. Let's talk about the Phillies. Well, I was about to say it's a better topic, but
let's
I don't
go,
know.
Phillies.
The Phillies were banking on Roy Halladay.